This is my second time at one of these events, and I always find it so great to come to these. We work in our own institutions, and we get so focused on the work that we do that we often kind of forget about the actual larger world. And it's for me, it's great to come here and hear about some of the issues and the challenges that we're all experiencing, and they're really not that different to the issues and the challenges that I'm experiencing. And particularly in this environment where we have COVID and there's just so much change taking place, and how do we adapt and be dynamic to meet those changing elements. So again, my name's Kerry Galbraith. I head up the capital program for the University of Chicago, sort of design and construction. Sort of similar to what everyone else does. We do about 100 million worth of work a year. About 85% of my projects are less than $2 to $2.5 million. So we get a couple of big projects, but our sort of bread and butter work is, small renovations, trying to address all those deferred maintenance issues that we all have with roofs and facades and everything else. But but as you probably guessed, I'm not from this country. Originally from New Zealand, down under, a Kiwi. And for those who are not familiar with New Zealand, besides being a country of sheep and hobbits, but it's a country of underachievers, which seems really weird. But if you go there, there is a culture of sort of pushing back on people who do succeed. But at the same time, it is a country that really embraces change. New Zealand was one of the first countries in the world to give women the vote. One of the first countries in the world to introduce a social welfare system. One of the first countries in the world to bring in a totally non-nuclear policy. So that change culture is embedded through the whole country, and it's that thought and that process which I've tried to bring to the work that we do at the University of Chicago. So just jumping through, obviously I think we're kind of a little bit behind time, so I'm just trying to catch up here a little bit. But the work that we do is difficult. There's no secret to that. I mean, if it was easy, then we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't have jobs. So the fact that it's difficult is great for us because it means that we all have jobs. The other thing too is that we work with clients and stakeholders who are challenging. University of Chicago is a research institution, so we're dealing with folks who are just highly intelligent, highly motivated. They do research for a living, so they want to engage, they want to know exactly what we're doing, they want to challenge us, they want to understand, and that makes it very difficult. We also work in an environment, like most institutions, like everyone else's, we have a lot of old buildings, we have a lot of deferred maintenance, so things break, things go wrong, and it's never ending. We all get calls, it's just hard. So about 5 years ago, we realized that we needed to make a change, that we needed to be better at doing what we did. So we kind of thought about that and tried to understand what that means. So, and different speakers have talked about different things. So we knew that we needed to change, but how do we make that change? So we figured out that, okay, we want to shoot big. Laurie talked about that. We want to try to achieve something that makes us better. We want to identify what we need to change. So we did a look around. We figured out that we needed to call Don at APA. So we called Don, and he came down and saw us. And so we knew what our challenges were, but we wanted someone else independently to come in and take a look and understand our organization and give us their perspective. And so he went away for a few days, came back, and sort of identified the same issues and the challenges we had as an internal organization that we wanted to change. So we took those challenges and sat down and tried to understand some of the things that we needed to do to make change, to make us better. So we kind of looked at that, and in the process of doing that, we thought, well, it would be good to get some recognition. So, we thought we'll apply for the Award for Excellence and use that as a goal to help motivate us to be better. But in the course of doing that, we figured out that it wasn't just about the Award for Excellence, it was about the whole journey. You know, we wanted to go along and become better at what we did, not just to get the award for excellence, but to be better in the longer term, to make our clients happier, to make our job easier, to make our team work better as an organization rather than having pockets of excellence. And so, because our clients just see us as one institution or one organization. So the first thing that we did is we looked at our team. Now this is the New Zealand All Blacks, a rugby team. You probably don't follow rugby, but I use these guys as inspiration to the work that I do. They're a team much like us, a team of some great individuals, those sort of pockets of excellence, but together they work to become, you know, one of the best teams in the world. For a country of 5 million people, that's not bad. These guys have won, in the last 110 years, they've won 77% of their games. So there's not many sports teams in the world can say that. But then, so looking at what they do, I mean, it's all about the culture within their team. And so taking that and looking at what it means to the University of Chicago. So we wanted to create an organization of excellence, but understanding what that means. You know, University of Chicago is like a lot of institutions that we have an aging workforce. We have a lot of people who work for our organization who have been with us for many, many years. So we've got like a lot of old dogs, and we're trying to teach them new tricks. And so how do we do that? We need that workforce, that team, to understand the need to change and then be committed to that change. And then we also realized that maybe sometimes we just need to change some of the individuals in that team. You know, it's a tough reality, and actually, you know, it's probably a silver lining of COVID. It's given us the opportunity to go back and look at some of those individuals in our teams. You know, 2 years ago we were doing about 60 projects a year. Last year we did around 30, 35. So just that alone and the resources gave us that opportunity. You know, the downside is now that we're trying to rebuild our team in an environment where everyone else is as well. So the other thing that we looked at is managing our organizational structure. So getting away from managing it on a project by project and managing it as a program of work. So understanding what that means and applying that across the whole facility services organization, not just in design and construction, but in planning and operations and across the finance team as well. So then everyone has the same understanding, the same overview, and the same expectations. So then we needed to understand, okay, what is those expectations? How do we, as a facility services group, make that change and change that culture, and defining the expectations so everyone can work to that. We also looked at, to help motivate people, is to understanding and defining success. So we went out and thought about it and thought, okay, from a design and construction point of view, everyone talks about budget and schedule, okay? But then we added in, you know, the actual, I guess the actual happiness of the actual team. I mean, how do people across the whole organization feel after a project is executed? Are they happy with the actual handover process from construction to operations? Is the planning group happy when it moves across from planning into design? And so we went back and we just talked to individuals in all pieces and got their feedback and to understand their perspectives and to help us define what that success mean to help motivate those individuals. We also looked at ownership. You know, so we wanted, you know, our project managers to own the whole process. You know, we talked in the earlier today the differences between program and project management, and also the understanding of ownership. So it's not just a case of like, okay, I'm done with my piece of the puzzle, throwing it over the fence, and then just forgetting about it. That sense of ownership starts at the beginning and runs through to the end. If it comes out of construction and goes into operations, you know, there's always latent defects, there's always issues there. that the person who is responsible for it in design and in construction is also responsible for addressing those latent defects at the end of the process. We also looked at defining a top-down messaging. So that top-down messaging was one of support. When we first started and introduced more of a top-down sort of integration through our processes, the first reaction was, stop micromanaging me. Okay, look, we're not here to micromanaging you, we're here to support you. We know that your job is tough. We know that you have issues to get supply chain on site. We know that there's issues with the design, it's not always 100%. We're here to help. We're not here to micromanage. And then the last aspect of the managing as a program is we looked at our clients. So our clients really define success for us. And their success is based on, or their interpretation of success is purely on their perspective and not even their understanding, but their perception of how we did, which may be right or may be wrong. But it doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. We just want to know what they think. And so then it helps us manage them as a program of work. So the other thing that we looked at is identifying individuals within our ranks to help promote and manage and integrate that culture of change. Finding those advocates at all the levels through to say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. We think that you could help this process. We want you on board to help drive us in this direction. We want you to help connect those dots. We want to help change the perspective of the individuals and operations to be from one of sort of conflict to one that they're embracing the whole process. It's an example of this, and this was even recently. We were doing a diversity and inclusion session within one of our teams, in the operations team, and all they wanted to talk about is, why don't the project managers and capital projects listen to us? So that was astounding for us to hear. So we wanted to understand why they had that perception and then address that perception. So we identified individuals in our organization to engage horizontally to help bridge those gaps and bring down those barriers. Okay, we talked a little bit over the last day and a half about the challenges in this market. Who would have thought 2 years ago we would be where we are today? With COVID hit, we scaled back, but everything has come roaring back. Everyone's trying to get labor, everyone's trying to get people. You go to the supermarket, there's long lines. You go to the store, there's always help wanted signs up. It's an extremely challenging time to be in, and the change process that we've been through, that cultural change, has helped us even to adapt to some of these issues that we're faced with today. So one is obviously keeping talent. We talked about people leaving Arizona and going to Colorado for work, but not actually leaving Arizona. So we're looking at ways to help to retain the staff that we have, and then also to help to go out and find new staff to support that workforce that we're looking at increasing. We're looking to address our aged workforce, and we're looking to provide a voice throughout the organization. So I talked in the last slide about finding those key proponents within our team to help bridge those gaps and provide that horizontal network. So it's tasking them with listening and hearing those voices throughout the organization and bringing that back in and messaging it out upwards and downwards. And the thing that's been interesting for me in the last 2 days is hearing from everyone about the different organizational structures the universities are going through. We're back, our students are back 100%, but I'm hearing about organizations that are back, 30%. I'm hearing we're in a hybrid work model, so I go into the office 2 days a week. I work from home 3 days a week, which is great because I have a 2.5-hour commute. I'm hearing organizations that everyone's back in. So we're looking at creating this hybrid work model, because if we don't do that, you know, it's a hot market out there. People will leave to go and work somewhere where they can just be 100% remote. And the last thing that we looked at, or the second to last thing we looked at, is making sure that the messaging gets down into the actual grassroots of our organization. This is the change that we're looking for. This is how we want to integrate it into the system and making sure that change. I'm running out of time, Michael?
No.
Oh, okay. So we did a survey. So we launched a 2020 vision of where we wanted to be when we started this process. We've updated that to 23 now. We communicated that out to the organization, and then after about a year, we did a survey to see, you know, had people heard our messaging and did they understand it? And we found that 80% knew about it. Well, actually, 85% knew about it, and 75% actually understood it, which was actually, we were happy with that. So it, you know, and that survey actually helped us identify the areas that we needed to improve on to make this change, to change that culture and help us get better. And then lastly, that we've all talked about the last day and a half is how to get the message out. Okay, what we've done is we've identified an individual, and their job is to get that message out. Okay, and I've told them I'd much rather have people complain about getting too many emails and too much communication, too much messaging, than complain about getting not enough. So their role is to communicate internally through our organization, so people know what everyone else is doing, and then to message up to our clients. So, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. This is when it's going to happen. And then to message to other stakeholders and people in the actual other areas of the buildings that we're working in. You know, we're shutting this down. We've got a crane coming in here. And that messaging and that communication has helped bridge so many issues that we've had. And, you know, clients who were just so frustrated with us before have, you know, there's always challenges, there's always problems, but they're a lot more forgiving when they know what's going on, you know, and because it happens, you know. I mean, it's, you know, I thought I was going to be here for a day and a half enjoying the whole time, and I've spent a lot of time on the phone because that's our jobs. So that's kind of what we're doing, and just to try to make those change. And that cultural change that we started about 4 years ago has really helped us with all the changes that are taking place now. And what has happened out of that is that, you know, we talked about getting a seat at the table. It's helped us get that seat at the table because everyone understands what they're doing. It's a lot more transparent. They understand it, and they're more prepared to engage at leadership level. Our next challenge is to keep the seat at the table while we have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kelly.